Hi guys, it's the Crypto Killer here, back again with another episode with our mythical guru in the crypto world, Veridoge. How are you, Mr. Veridoge?
I'm good, thanks. Yourself?
I'm not bad, thank you. Now, one thing I really want to bring up this week is, within the last week, a thing, I'll say thing, so I'm not sure your opinion on it, but a thing called Bitcoin Cash has come out, and being a relatively mortal compared to yourself, I didn't really know the difference between Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, other than the obvious price difference.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. I can see why you'd be confused. Like, what's the difference between Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash? Like, why has that suddenly appeared on Coinbase? One thing to warn you people is Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash are two entirely different cryptocurrencies. You can't mix one with the other. And a real big word of warning here is you've got, I'll go into more detail in a minute, but the really big warning is if you go onto bitcoin.com and download a Bitcoin wallet, it's not a Bitcoin wallet, it's a Bitcoin Cash wallet. So if you buy Bitcoin off Coinbase and then send it to that wallet, you will lose all your Bitcoin. There's very sinister reasons.
Is that true?
Yeah, no, that's true. That's very sinister.
That sounds ridiculous. That sounds very illegal, dare I say.
It does sound very illegal. And the person that's doing it has been doing, in my opinion, more illegal things. He's not the only one, but he has been trying to manipulate the Bitcoin market, or Bitcoin Cash market. There's strong evidence suggesting he is. I can't confirm for sure that he is. He's dumped a lot of Bitcoin. He's trying to, actually manipulate it. But with the coins he's got, he's also using a whole propaganda campaign. So the guy Roger Ver and his, well, I'd say cronies, he was an early investor in Bitcoin, and he's quite well known. Journalists go to him as the go-to expert, and he's been spreading a lot of lies about what Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash are.
What sort of lies has he been saying?
Well, it starts off fairly innocent. Now, there's a legitimate debate between Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, and that debate I wouldn't really have a problem with on its own. It's just how he's got his own agenda on things, which I'll get into in a minute. But basically, Bitcoin versus Bitcoin Cash. It all began when Bitcoin started getting popular, the price started going up.
You mean over $200, which I made the vital error of selling for $300.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. I did appreciate the
Bitcoin. Okay, let's move on.
I will never, you're my best friend for that. You always will be. So back then, Bitcoin was cheap, quick to send. Now, Bitcoin now, the price has got so high, it's become so popular, it's basically reached full capacity. You got something called block size, 1 megabyte block sizes. At the end of the day, Bitcoin can only do 7 transactions per second. And so then that came to like, well, how can we resolve this? How can we increase the capacity of Bitcoin so we can get the cheaper and quicker transactions again? And there's ultimately 2 ways of doing it. We can either make blocks more efficient and fix a number of other things. Now that's called SegWit, where essentially you can do more transactions in the same block size.
Got ya. Yeah, lost me for a second there, but now I know what you mean.
But does that make sense? Make things more efficient. Or you can increase the block size itself, and so things aren't more efficient, but you increase the block size, and hey presto, problem solved. Now, on the face of it, there are legitimate arguments for both. The problem comes is where these guys who are in favour of Bitcoin Cash, they've got their own agenda. They control a lot of the mines. They've been trying to attack the Bitcoin network, trying to spam the network, because ultimately higher block size increases barriers to entry into the market. Because if you're mining, do you know about mining?
Yes.
Or you've heard of mining? I'm sure you don't understand the full details, but yeah, you can mine Bitcoin, but it's now becoming almost monopolized by large companies. If you increase the block size, you increase the cost of mining furthermore, and then you get a monopoly over the market. You kind of get a monopoly over Bitcoin.
Understood.
So then there's that kind of power struggle there. Now, there are going to be people who disagree with me of that, but that is pretty much how I see it.
So-
it's not about the technicals, it's about a power struggle.
So what do you foresee the future between Bitcoin and versus Bitcoin Cash? How do you see it going?
Yeah, no, that's hard to tell. What's worrying is, I hope Bitcoin wins myself. I think Bitcoin Cash, it has a poor development team. I don't like that it's being the people that are trying to lead the way. Like, these people have been in jail. One of them, Craig White, he pretended to be the inventor of Bitcoin. That's
Clearly wasn't.
Yeah, then he wasn't, exactly. These are the kind of people you're dealing with. And, these guys then put out lies about the Bitcoin core developers who've made Bitcoin been running for, 8-9 years really well. And it's a shame, really. And, don't forget, these guys dumped their Bitcoin at $5,000 or something like that. And now they've seen Bitcoin go to,
Absolutely.
up to $20,000.
Astronomical.
Yeah. So they've got their own agenda, and that's where it gets a bit sinister when they're, unfortunately, they've got good relationships with the journalists. They own Bitcoin.com, and they've got a Bitcoin Cash wallet and trying to call it Bitcoin, and then people are losing their own money when they're sending to it just because of their own agenda.
Sounds a little bit dodgy to me, and probably something to avoid, I would imagine.
Yeah, I'd say so. Like, if it wasn't for the way these people are or who these people are, maybe there'd be a more legitimate debate. I'm always in favour of the real Bitcoin, the original Bitcoin with SegWit. SegWit also leads to the adoption of Lightning Network, which essentially would allow for millions of transactions per second. Then you got the coin that you want, fast, instant, and you'd be there.
Lovely.
Yeah.
So with that all being said, the reason I brought it up in the first place, because I saw Bitcoin Cash flash up on Coinbase.
Yeah.
Now, I would imagine Coinbase is probably the most used easier to use
It's the easiest to,
exchange site going at the moment, especially through its app.
Most expensive, might I add. So
Really?
it's the easiest but most expensive.
Oh, geez.
Use it as a gateway to get Bitcoin, but don't actually trade on there.
Oh.
It's expensive.
I wish you'd have told me that a bit earlier. So with that being said, what other exchanges are out there? What could we be using?
There's now quite a range of exchanges. My favourite for a long time was Polo or Poloniex. I can't pronounce my Twitter handle, let alone the names of the exchanges.
Veridoge.
Veridoge, whatever. Polo, Poloniex. I don't know. I call it Polo.
As long as it makes you money.
As long as it makes me money, right? Yeah. I mean, that traditionally was the biggest altcoin exchange for a while. I don't think it is anymore. There's now Binance that shut up in the last year. And there's Bittrex and Cryptopia, and there's a bit of a hierarchy to them. So Polo is kind of the biggest exchange, the most volume, the more established coins largely. They don't add many coins anymore. You've then got Bittrex, which is like a level down, and it's got kind of the mid-cap coins. And I like those because they're the ones that, can give higher returns.
Would I be right in thinking you use a lot of these quite regularly?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I do. I don't keep them on the exchanges. We'll probably get to that. But and then you've got Cryptopia, which is kind of even lower than Bittrex. Like, they're the really small cap coins. Again, you buy them, potentially higher returns. They're not as easy to use as Polo, but you're getting there before everyone else because people don't like using
Would
those
that be
as much.
in the same context as like penny stocks or something like that?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, I'd say so. You got Bitcoin, Ethereum. That's pretty established, well known in the media now. Like, if you want to find not necessarily the next Bitcoin, it doesn't have to replace Bitcoin, but something that's going to come up in the limelight, and you want to catch it at the bottom when it's just begun.
Just like Litecoin.
Back in the day.
Just like Litecoin.
You're never gonna give that one up on me, are you?
I certainly will not. So the reason I brought that up was because I saw an incident today that happened in Russia, where, am I right in thinking someone's been kidnapped?
Yes, someone got kidnapped.
Oh jeez, that is not pretty. So I'm thinking, I mean, fortunately, you've actually enlightened me quite recently about my security online. What I should be doing, how I should be keeping things secure, especially on my exchanges. I mean, how can we do that, and why is it so important?
I think, you know, as you say, someone get kidnapped, you shouldn't flash your wealth, or even if you don't have the wealth, someone might mistake you for having a lot of wealth. You could get kidnapped. It does happen. Not that often at the moment, but it'll probably happen increasingly. But your more probable threat, and more likely threat, is being hacked. And this has happened to a few people I know because they don't have appropriate security. Now, it's a boring topic, but if you don't do it appropriately, you will get hacked. Thankfully, these days, it's actually pretty easy to stay secure. It's common sense. You need a strong password. The second thing you need, if you're on exchanges, you really need to set up two-factor authentication. It's just an app on Google. You just download it, Google Authenticator.
Google, yeah, the one I use, Google Authenticator, yes.
Yeah, and you just set it up, and then whenever you log in, you use your password. You've also got to type in a code on your phone. So if a hacker ever gets your password, they still don't have that code on your phone.
And that makes a massive difference, doesn't it?
Massive, yeah. Massive. The other thing is you shouldn't really store your coins on the exchanges where possible. Obviously you need to trade, but when you're not trading them, it's better to store the coins yourself. The exchange can get hacked as well. They're the biggest targets for hackers, and the exchanges do get hacked. Less common now than it used to be, but it used to happen on a monthly basis, and you know, so I'm very cautious.
Have you ever been hacked yourself, or do you know people that have been hacked?
I've not been hacked myself, but I have sent money to a phishing site that posed as a real site.
A phishing site?
Yeah, so I went to invest in an ICO. You've probably heard of them by now.
Yes.
Yeah. It was the Kick one, you know, the app Kick?
Yeah.
They were doing an ICO. Some clever arsehole set up the website looking exactly like it, and then put a link on Twitter, posing as, you know, them, bought the fake followers, put a link saying ICO now live. I clicked it, sent money to them.
Oh, well done.
Yeah, I know. Lost it, sent it all to the hackers, not getting that back.
Yeah, no way.
Yeah.
No way at all. So
I've also sent money to the wrong address.
I will stress that it's probably your own fault, correct?
It was my own fault entirely.
Okay.
It's my fault when I sent it to the phishing
Yeah.
site. I've also lost I left Bitcoin on my phone. My phone broke, and I didn't have it backed up, so those Bitcoins are gone.
Safe to say that it's probably the most expensive phone in the country now.
Probably not. Apparently there's a guy with a laptop who's got God knows how many millions of pounds on. It was only 2.5 Bitcoin, I think, which at the time I bought for $400, and
Probably one of those being mine.
yeah, probably, yeah.
Bad times. Bad times.
But I think one more thing to add is, you know, in addition to the, having 2FA, two-factor authentication, if you're storing coins yourself, which you should, it's easy now. You can buy a Trezor or a Nano Ledger S. I'll put the links in the description below. They're so easy to use. They're secure. Even if you've got a virus on your laptop or something, apparently it still can't get you. There's no excuse for not having one of them now. It's so easy to use. I'd use them. If some coins aren't on these, they're special USBs, these Trezors, designed just for crypto. Not all of them are on these Trezors. You can download the wallets themselves, always virus scan. You know, the larger coins are established, they're going to be safe. If you're going to download a coin that's fairly new or not established, I'd be very careful downloading a wallet, because they could be a virus looking to steal your coins. That's the one time I'd say it actually might be safer to store them on the exchange.
Yeah, you're probably not wrong. So,
yeah.
So anything else left to add, sir?
No. Have you got any more questions, or can we drive away now?
we could probably finish our drive.
Yeah.
As always, guys, like and subscribe. This has been Crypto Carpool with our best friend Veridoge. We still haven't worked it out.
Been a pleasure.
Absolutely. Have a great week, everybody, and see you soon.